Hello, everybody. This is Di, Antinatalist, and I found out some, upsetting news today. I don't know if it's considered bad news because it involves somebody's death. And when somebody dies, they are free from earthly pain and agony and grief and frustration. So this came very unexpectedly. I got a message from a Facebook friend's account, and it said, "Call me." Well, instantly I knew it was bad news. And so my Facebook friend, her name was Dory. We had about 5 mutual friends on Facebook, but I don't personally know the mutual friends. So I'm just just gonna do this video as a memorial. Pretty much instantly, like, when Dory became my friend, I'll have to, look up when we became friends on Facebook, but we had so much in common. It was almost like we should have met, and I had planned on meeting her. She, was from Frankfurt, Germany. She married a military man years ago who brought her to El Paso, the El Paso area of Texas. And they got divorced, and then she met another guy named John. She was with John for like around 30 years. And they were both child-free and antinatalist. So the last time that I had contact with her was April the 3rd. And before that, she had sent me a post of Oprah Winfrey, and her and Stedman decided to remain child-free. And that was the last post that she sent me. And so I got a message today. It just says, "Call me." So, I wanted to talk to Dory. I'm from Texas, and she lives in Texas. We both have a cosmetology license. We both rescue animals, and we're antinatalist. And so I called this number, and it was a guy who answered. And I knew right then and there that, she passed. So she had told me some months ago that she had lung cancer, and that they couldn't operate, but that she was going through radiation. I think she spared me some details of her agony, which I think people sometimes do. That's what my last Facebook friend who died, and I did a memorial for, did. She pretty much spared some, gore and details about their living situation and their lives and their agony and discomfort, etc. I didn't know how bad, things had gotten, but So her boyfriend called and said that she passed on April 8th. And, I had like messaged her on the 3rd. But I think she wanted, to contact me. I mean, we had a lot in common, and I had planned to go down to El Paso. And actually it was a destination that I had been wanting to go back to. And when, we met, I told her that I would visit after the summer months. And so I talked to her boyfriend and power of attorney, housemate, for probably a couple of hours. And her real name was Dorothea Karen. Like I said, she's German. And she, she was, English speaking, but, not completely fluent. So her and her current boyfriend had known each other for around 30 years. Dorothea was around my age. I don't know if a little bit older, a little bit younger. I can't recall. But we, had some discussions on life and antinatalism, and I think she spared me the fact that she was so close to death. But so her boyfriend told me to call, and I called, and so we spoke for hours tonight. And I'm really, really disappointed to hear of her passing, and she's just someone that I really resonated with. And I mean, even down to the very dogs that we have at home. Before she died, she had mentioned wanting to stick around until her pets, the current pets, had died. And I totally understand that. But that didn't happen. She, had a variety of animals. At one point, they had numerous animals, rescue animals. And in the end, she had dachshunds and chihuahuas. But, so in January, she had gone to the doctor, and she was coughing up blood. And so she was, worried about that. And I took some notes here because I wanted to get everything in. I will mention that her housemate and boyfriend wanted to die together. So, that's just something I want to mention. They did have, a pact of some sort. So anyway, she coughing up blood, and this was in January, and she just thought, it was COVID or something. And they did a biopsy, and I found that a tumor, they had a couple of small tumors. Well, I guess one the size of a quarter, and the other one was the size of a pea. But one was pushing up against her windpipe, and she had a hard time breathing. And her boyfriend took off a couple of months to help her out. He bought her a wheelchair. She became very weak. At one point, she needed oxygen. Halfway through the radiation for the the lung tumor. The mass was outside of her lung, so I guess it wasn't operable. Halfway through radiation, she decided to stop treatment because she described to her boyfriend that swallowing, drinking, eating was just torture. And it was like he said, she said it was like razor blades and such awful burning to, you know, even just take anything down. So she became short of breath, and she by the time, you know, April came around, he said she was about 85 pounds, very, very thin. But she just could not tolerate the burning when she tried to eat or drink. So, you know, she was on some painkillers, you know, some narcotics, but it didn't treat the pain. Narcotics don't treat a lot of pains, unfortunately. I mean, you know, there's just so much that they can do. It's very limited. The day before she died, her boyfriend said that she felt like she was going to die the next day. You know, I've even heard people say that they actually felt, you know, death was impending very, very quickly. Like, they know. So, they both loved animals. She, you know, had some dogs. On her Facebook pictures, she's shown holding a Chihuahua, a little tan Chihuahua, and you know, she wanted to live to see her dogs pass away, and she didn't make it. And so yeah, me and her, we had cosmetology licenses, rescue dogs. You know, we just had so many things in common. And I literally was going to visit in the fall, and I was going to meet up with her. You know, she had a do not resuscitate agreement, and her boyfriend's was power of attorney. So what happened was, she was on, like, her last day, she was, and like I said, she was 85 pounds, and like, he came into her room, and she was coughing up lots of blood, and, a lot of blood-soaked paper towels, and, I don't know if she was wheelchair bound or if she was just in bed, but she got up and just automatically just collapsed, and, he tried to do some CPR and, you know, could not make any headway with that. And I guess the paramedics came, and then she was taken to the hospital. And then when she got to the hospital, the doctor said that there was no, or the dilation of the eyes, or no dilation or something of that effect. I'm not really sure how they you know, pronounce somebody's death, but they said that she was basically brain dead. So, you know, he was with her basically at the very end, very, very last day. And I mean, if anybody could die in someone's arms, that's probably what happened. She did not want to be embalmed, and so She wasn't. He buried her, and just like she wanted. And, he, was able to put on some of her favorite jewelry. I don't think that there was a true funeral, but he was the main, figure in her life. Her parents had both died, and so he is in the process of getting her headstone engraved. He said that she called herself a voice for the animals. And he's going to inscribe that on her tombstone. And the place that she was buried is not the place that she had originally chosen, because they did not have room, or so I don't know what the conditions were, but so then her boyfriend made some arrangement to buy a plot next to hers, because they don't bury like on top of each other. And so she was a voice for the animals. And we need more people like her. There's so few anti-natalists. There's so few child-free people. There's so few animal rescuers. I'm really saddened because I won't be able to see her. But her boyfriend texted me some numbers, and I told him that my plan was to come to El Paso in the fall, because that was what I was going to do months ago anyway. And he told me he would take me to her gravesite. And so, not good news. It's good news for her, though, because, and like he said, she's in a better place. Any place would be better than this world. I have very few Facebook friends that I really like. I mean, maybe like 14. I actually recently unfriended about 300 people just to get the clutter, get clutter out. And she ranked up there at the top. So, this is the second Facebook friend I've lost. And earlier, I did a memorial for Linda from Australia. Committed suicide. I was in Aruba, and I did a memorial for her at the cemetery. The cemetery on Baby Beach, where dogs are buried. So, from January to April, I mean, just a few months, and she's gone. I had a feeling that she wouldn't make it. Not that she told me she was in just such a really dire condition. But I just read between the lines. The fact that she didn't tell me much made me feel that she was expiring, and she, the doctors probably told her that there was little hope. And so, I mean, I'm just really regretful that me and her did not get to meet up. But I will meet John. Me and John. I may travel with another friend this fall. And we may. I really want to go to El Paso. I really have to, get closure and see her burial site and see her headstone. And I will do an update on this video. And he told me he would show me the house and the land that they had for the rescues. And he was keeping every one of the dogs, and they have a cat. He was keeping every one of them to take care of them for the rest of their lives, which is a lot more than some family members do. When I used to volunteer for shelters, when somebody would die in the family, everybody wanted grandma's money or proceeds from her estate. They didn't want her animals. And animals would just, come to the shelter. Old animals, mostly, that had lived with, the family member. And people just, did not have any kind of integrity to take care of a family member's animals. I mean, I can understand if you have absolutely no family, zero family, but it's just so irresponsible to just show up at the shelter with, the goldfish, the cats, the dogs, rabbits, whatever. I'm not a fan of humanity. Most people have no integrity. But, I told John that she was really blessed to have someone that took care of her. He took a couple of months off, work. And basically El Paso is on the border of New Mexico. But, it just sounds like her last weeks or days, months even, are full of torture. I mean, coughing up blood and, when you eat or drink, felt like razor blades. Unbelievable. Unbelievable torture. I had another friend who had radiation, and she had a lymphoma, and the radiation, she had a lump in her neck, and the radiation, burned her armpit, and it was like raw skin, and it also affected her salivary glands, so she, was constantly, having a dry mouth, and was very uncomfortable, and, I was with her at the time, because we lived in New York City together. We were childhood, friends, but, yeah, she had a do not resuscitate request, and, she was brain dead, and so she passed away on April the 8th. I got a couple of text or thumbs up, I think I got, yeah. And I told John, I said, something just didn't seem right with the last few messages that, I had received from her. I said it just didn't, it wasn't her vibe to, to not send a sentence or something else. And he goes, that was me. That was me just sending a thumbs up, to you, to right back to you. Just, he goes, I just, had to take care of a lot of things and the grief process and everything. And so her request was that he take down her Facebook page. Seems kind of sad to me because it almost like extinguishes the person. I mean, so he gave me an opportunity. He said her page is going to be taken down at the end of this month. And if you want any pictures, save them, print them, whatever. And he goes, I'm discontinuing her phone service on her cell phone after this month. So I just did not need this news today. It's just something I did not need. So anyway, if any of you out there knew Dory, her Facebook page will be up until the end of May. You could message, her account, and her boyfriend will get the message. But anyway, so that's my Sunday. Bye-bye.